organization, what you do, and who you serve, please.
Okay, so SwapforJoy, we're actually a wellbeing organisation. My sister and I set this up to make people feel better more of the time. So we've developed guided journals. We've got guided journals, and we've got mind exercises. These are digital downloads, and they offer you tools and practices that actually make you able to cope with things better and feel better more of the time. Because we feel that we want people to become consciously aware of the decisions that they're making, become consciously aware of their thoughts and their behaviours, and even the language they use, and think, how can I do things differently to feel better more of the time?
That's great, because obviously mental well-being is becoming a very big thing in our community today, in place of work. Even for individuals staying at home, isolation is quite a big thing. Only like last year, December, that the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom launched a mental well health for men. And I also know that it's quite a big thing also for women. And thank you for sharing that with us, SwapforJoy.
Because the thing that we are saying is we've developed things so that they're affordable, inclusive, and accessible, and they are for everyone. When you say who are you for, we're for everyone, because everyone needs a bit of support to look after their mental wealth, as we put it.
Absolutely.
So we want people to build up their mental wealth by learning new ways to think, to rewire some of the old habits that are not serving them, and basically so that they can live life to the full and make choices they prefer. Like as a woman, I was never on the list. Everyone else's needs were met and served before mine, and what we're saying to people is serve your needs, because you need to refill your cup so that you can then offer other things to people.
Absolutely, because it's only when your cup is full that's when you have the capability to be able to support someone else, which is quite a good thing. Just to kind of like go into a little bit deeper. What was the thing that actually triggered SwapforJoy? Because you mentioned you and your sister. Was it from a live experience, or was it just something that you observed that a lot of people are kind of having challenges with? Can you tell me about that?
Well, basically, it's from lived experience. For 5 decades, we took all our experience, but this was on the back of my sister having a medical diagnosis, 2 medical diagnoses. So on our journey to try and work through that, we were going outside, going to places and people and asking for support and help. And basically we thought, these are just plasters that we're putting on. So we needed to go inside and work out through the mind, spirit and body how we could actually improve our lives. And now that we're at the other end of that, we are decided, let's give back, let's be of service, because we had so many difficulties and we had a huge gaping hole in our credit card debt, because everywhere people were asking for more and more money, and we thought, well, why don't we take what we learned and put it into our journals and into our mind exercises and make it affordable and accessible to people and include everyone.
Yes, thank you very much. Inclusion is a very, very good thing. And like you said, when people are having the issue of mental health, some of the challenges that most people face is waiting for a referral from the GP, and that can take a very, very long time.
And that's actually one of the things we would say is that the Path to Healing book in particular, the journal, we were actually approaching counselling organisations and the NHS and saying, why not give this to people whilst they're waiting, because it's about getting the information to the person. So as part of our business, we've had to pivot quite a bit, and one of the pivots we did was actually we started off thinking about doing a course, but then we thought, no, let's do the journal so that the person can have something in their hand, do the digital downloads so they can have it on the phone. That was another pivot. We learned from the journals, let's go and do the digital downloads. And because we want something to wrap around your life, we had to travel places. Even when you went to places, sometimes you couldn't access them because of various things. So it was like, let's rip and strip all of that away and give the person the thing in their home, on the bus, in the workplace. place
Mm-hmm.
in the park, wherever, they can then start to get prompts that help them to think things through. So, because we've got a formula. The formula is that you identify your blocks. You then let go. Breath is to let it go. But then the difference is we now say to you, what inspired action are you going to take? What swap are you going to make in your life to feel better?
That's very good. I'm glad. I'm like the fact that you talked about the accessibility part of things, because sometimes when people don't have access to information, that is when it becomes very difficult, especially with mental health. I know there could be information online, but when an organization reach out, or an individual reach out to SwapforJoy, they have access to be able to have this healing journal, which I looked at it online before the podcast. There are a lot of information here. I would definitely recommend that with SwapforJoy, this is a book I would recommend you kind of, you definitely need to have a look into if you're having challenges with mental health. There is so much more information here. So you talked about the formula. Let's drill deep a little bit about the formula that you were talking about when you said identifying. So what sort of trigger points would an individual be able to say, okay, yes, these are my trigger points? It might be about depression, it might be about anxiety. What would you recommend they do?
Well, with this passive healing, you actually identify the emotions, the trigger points, and then there's 3 questions that you look through, and it's basically identifying where you are, who you were with, and what you were feeling. And the reason we ask the same questions is because we want people to develop a habit of going through things in the same sort of way, so that they get a positive outcome from it. So people would work out if it was anger, if it was resentment. And the thing is, this can take a couple of years to work through. Which I'm talking from lived experience. So it can take a while, but it's really useful. And I've really changed my life by changing we say change your mind, change your life.
Change your mind, change your life. I agree with that, because a lot of everything that we do as individuals is about mindset. Because when you change the way you think, it changes everything about your life, which is a really good thing. I can definitely relate with that. Obviously, we're kind of similar a little bit in terms of what we do regarding mental health, which is absolutely fantastic. Now I'm going to quickly jump into another question, which is really good. What was the biggest turning point in your business for you? And how did that shape the growth journey for SwapforJoy? What was the biggest journey?
Well, the biggest change was swapping from designing a course to doing journals, so that people had more access and there was less of a barrier, people thinking about a course. But what we actually say at SwapforJoy is that anything that's a difficulty is actually an opportunity.
Yes.
So it's an opportunity to learn. And in fact, there's nothing that we would change about our journey, because it's all of the learning that we've taken on through the journey and to where we're here today. It was all meant to happen, I believe. So we look at what are the opportunities, and even that's quite a big mind shift to think, well, something's really difficult's happened, but now how can I see an opportunity? It's like, what? It's like, it's difficult, it's hard, this isn't good. Whereas we're saying, what's the opportunity, what's the learning, and there will be a solution.
Absolutely. So in other words, it's just basically looking at every setback as a feedback.
Yes.
Every setback is a feedback for growth, to make things better, to improve, or whatever stage or the way you look at it. Which then goes to the same thing about, one of your slogan you mentioned earlier on about change your mind, change your life. If you change your outlook about any sort of situation, then the feedback that you're getting from whatever that situation is something that you can then resort to finding a solution about.
Yeah, because people see failure, they fear failure.
Yes.
And basically failure is part of and key to success.
Yeah.
Anybody that's successful will tell you that. The failures taught them more than the success. So embrace it and enjoy it.
Yes, embrace the challenges and enjoy it, because when you face your challenges, it leads to positive feedback, which is absolutely fantastic. So in terms of where you are right now, tell me about a new project that has launched that you and your sister are currently working on just now,
Yeah.
so that the audience will know more about it, and
Yeah.
then we can explore it a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, recently we set up the school community online. It's spelled SKOOL school, and that's actually free for people to join us. And then obviously there's other things that you can look at and explore. But this platform will offer you some of the the mind exercises.
Okay.
I'd particularly recommend the daily check-in.
The daily check-in.
This is about thinking about gratitude. We actually have an appreciation alert,
Okay.
a focused feeling, and we look at reflect and rewire.
Okay.
And we also have a bit of a to-do, what you've got to-do list sort of thing on there. But it's like checking in, and it's about people taking a moment to appreciate what they've got.
Yes.
You know, so we're asking people to think about even the fact that you can go and have a shower in the morning. 50 odd years ago, you couldn't.
Yes, the opportunity wasn't there.
It's a recent thing, you know. So it's like even the roads, who's constructed the roads and different things, everything that goes into that, all the people that are involved. It's like really appreciating how easy it is to travel and do things for us now because of what went on before. So
that's great. So for just to recap, school is an online. I know about school.
Yeah.
You can go to school, SKOOL, where you can find SwapforJoy, about some of the information that they want to know about you guys, and to just like you said, it's completely free.
Yeah.
To join to be part of that community.
Yeah, and we're all that on there. People can come ask questions, get support, and there's a weekly update there that people, we'll give and share ideas and resources that we have, so that people will benefit from that. But they'll also be able to make connections and be part of the SwapforJoy community.
That's brilliant. One of the things that you actually touched on while you were explaining something was the gratitude part, the gratitude of being able to just be thankful, even just for having life, for these moments here, to be able to have a shower like you said. I believe that gratitude creates an opportunity.
Yes.
For Hosti goes back to that same mind thing. When you're grateful for where you are right now, it creates a better opportunity for you to be grateful for the things that are yet to come, and for the things that is happening right now, which is absolutely fantastic, which is good. I believe based on just what we've talked about so far, SwapforJoy is something that a lot of people, everybody needs SwapforJoy.
I agree.
Yes, everybody needs SwapforJoy, because you've got to, because you're helping individual to change their mind and then change their life. The healing, the path to healing, the journaling, all of those things are things that are really, really important for individuals that are aspiring that growth mindset, which is a good thing. Now, obviously, we are here. How have you built strong relationship with customers in your community? I understand that this is also part of building that. So could you please explore about that, what you've done?
Yeah. Well, with SwapforJoy, we sometimes go to markets, but we also run workshops. So we create connections at markets. In fact, one of the people I met at the Barras, that actually was, she came along to one of our workshops, which was a cacao dance.
Okay.
So basically, people come and we're modelling a swap. So we use cacao, and I don't take coffee, I take cacao. So it's a life swap.
Okay.
And it's a very good for you, but you also, it's related to the heart and the mind.
Okay.
So it's very linked with SwapforJoy. And you set an intention at the workshop, and then you do dancing to healing energy.
Okay.
So it's actually the vibration, it's about the frequency to heal your body.
Yeah.
And then we do a sound bath at the end. With another company called Wild Fox Wellness.
Wild Fox Wellness.
But we also are going to be doing mix and we do one-to-one with people as well. So and we build relationships like that, go in collaborations with other organizations like yourself.
Oh, thank you very much. The cacao thing that you mentioned, when I was looking at your website, I noticed it. I have not heard about it before. I need to be honest about that. What does it really entail? The cacao thing you were talking about?
So cacao basically
Cacao.
is a plant-based medicine.
Okay.
And there's our ceremonies that they go in and explain all the benefits of it. But what we do is we're just saying, here, come and have a taste of this and see how it can make a difference to your body. Because there's benefits for your heart and for your mind.
Okay.
And it can actually make you feel a wee bit high, you know.
Okay.
And this is because it actually opens up your blood vessels, so the blood's flowing more and the oxygen's getting around your body. And it's got lots of different, it's called, they've got the joy molecule in it.
The joy molecule, okay, makes you feel happy and
makes you
feel good.
feel happy and good. And obviously combining that with the dance and healing energy, people really love it.
That's good. What has been the kind of like the feedback about that? You obviously just said people really love it. Is this something that people really kind of connect to with SwapforJoy as part of the dancing and the social cohesion and networking of within the community?
Yeah, well, within the journals and the mix, we actually recommend a swap is that you dance more.
Okay.
Well, what I would say to you is, when's the last time you've had a really good laugh? When's the last time you were excited to get out of bed? And what we're saying is, let's start to think about what's exciting, what's going to make me feel good. Why am I not doing that more? So it's about making choices to live your life, rather than just do the 9 to 5 and pay bills. It's like, let's experience life. And at the workshop, I started off with the song "Born to Be Alive."
Born to be alive.
And I just say, as soon as people I welcome them, I say, right, everybody up, let's dance. And people something like, oh, I'm a bit out my comfort zone here, but they end up absolutely loving it. And it's like, as a child, they get frozen emotions. They get stuck. And these strategies, tools and practices are trying to get some of those stuck emotions out and let them go, so that you can then live your best life.
Absolutely. And even when people, I kind of like in that kind of environment, at the beginning, it can be kind of a little bit, difficult. But the more they do it, the more they come for those classes, the more they kind of get involved. It improves their confidence, because confidence is grown by being part of those support network, like the workshops that you do.
Yeah, well, one woman, she actually said, I can't believe I've danced like that in front of strangers, because it's not just normal dancing. It's like, just do what you feel like. Even sit if you want. You don't need to. It's just like, do whatever your body and your mind need, and rewire your thoughts.
That is fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing that. Now, in terms of obviously, the part of this podcast is creating an awareness. What other outreach or strategy have you worked best for growing your business locally? I know that you've touched on a little bit of it, but it would be good to just kind of let us know about it, so that the audience can know how to find you.
Well, we're on social media, but we find that word of mouth, you going out and meeting and connecting with people, that's what, then they see the passion, feel the energy, and see that through lived experience, you can change your life.
Yes.
You can have a better life, and do things that you want to do. Maybe not go to the Christmas dinner that you don't want to go to. Make a different choice. Some people might get upset and angry at you in effect, but as long as you're affectionately detached and nice and kind with them and loving and send them love, then just do what you want to do.
Absolutely. It's about being self-aware. It's about knowing who you are, and then making decision that is positive, that helps you as a person, so that you can be able to help other people. It's summing it up in terms of mental health, based on my experience and the things that I know, is about to know the self is to empower the self. Because if you know who you are and you make really positive, good decisions that improve your mental well-being, that improves your confidence, that improve your outlook about life, then you are able to kind of add to other people. And the journaling and the path to healing, some of the tools and the information you're talking about now, are really, really good, powerful ways of individuals that want to go through that journey of transformation in their life.
One of the biggest things that we get feedback on is they're easy to use.
Yes.
It's not writing and for treats. It's actually you get prompt questions, and it's just to make people consciously aware of the situation they're in, and it's inviting people to be present, to be in the moment, not keeping worrying about things in the past or the future. It's let's just live in the moment and experience life, enjoy.
Yes, just be present. You know, I can remember a couple of days ago I was sitting down with a friend, and my friend was telling me about, oh, this happened last year. This is all the things that have gone wrong and everything that has gone wrong. And I was sitting down in the car next to him, and I just looked at him and I said, James, just be in the moment. What are things like now?
No, yeah.
Just, you know, and that's why this, you know, the healing part, the feel good factor, all the things about that you do at SwapforJoy is one of those things that just being in the moment, just being to be present and just acknowledge where you are right now, be grateful for it, and then be able to kind of like say, okay, what is the next chapter, what is the next part, which then takes me to the next question, because you so how has technology or digital media helped or challenged your business?
Well,
Because of the stage you say you do, you know.
yeah, the challenge is that there's a lot of new learning, which is great. I've now got a lot more skills to do with the digital, and it's absolutely fantastic for us at SwapforJoy because we've got the digital downloads.
Okay.
And even through the digital, you can get the path to healing on
the app
on our website.
Okay.
On our website. So,
Okay.
and it's just www.swapforjoy.com. So,
okay, www.swapforjoy.com.
Yeah. So, so the digital's excellent for us. It's really helped us because we've learned more, and we've also it's allowing us to get out and serve more people and get our word out there to more people.
Yes, that's great. So, just for the audience to be aware, the SwapforJoy, there is an app that you can download. Is that what you said?
It's not an app. It's MEX mind exercises.
Oh.
They're individual mind exercises, and if you go into the school community, you'll see examples of a couple of them, and then you can look and see what one suits you.
Okay, so just so that you know the audience are aware, you can find this information on the website.
Yeah, everything's on the website and on social media. If you go to Facebook and put in SwapforJoy or go to Instagram, yeah, I'm posting on there quite regularly.
Yes, to be honest with you, Margaret, the name is very unique. Yeah, the name is very unique. SwapforJoy. That is amazing. I love it. I love it. I love it.
I can't take credit for that. That Patricia came up with that.
Your sister,
yeah, my sister.
Yeah. That's good. Hopefully, we get to meet Patricia next time you do come on board. You want to talk about some other things. So I want to quickly kind of like show the audience. Let's talk about some of these books. I know that we've looked at the path to healing. So here is this. This is another book. Feel Good, SwapforJoy guided journal. So this is a journal about feel good. So Margaret, tell us a little bit about this, and you know, whoever is going to be using it, what it entails.
Yeah. Well, basically, with the Feel Good, it's a weekly check-in. So every week you would just sit down, and as you can see, there's just a few questions and a few bullet points. It's basically saying to people, how's your week gone? What went well? How did I feel? Did I feel good? What's not so good? And who did I feel good around? So that you become more aware of who you want to be around. And it's about six sort of pages that you would look at. And we do a weekly intentional living plan in here. So you're actually got just several questions here. What you're grateful for, what do you want to do more of, what do you want to do less of, and what are you going to challenge yourself to do, and what do you want to become more aware of. One of my things was I wanted to become more aware of some of the negative language that I was using. So once I noticed, I would catch that, don't want to use that, change that word. So I'd catch it, change it to a different word, and then bin the old word. So it is brain training. You have to really think about it, and it can take a bit of time because you're rewiring a hardwired thought.
Yes.
So you've got to be kind to yourself. That's one of the biggest things.
Okay.
And also in the weekly check-in and Feel Good, we talk about self-care plan, and we actually are saying put self-care on the list.
Okay.
don't just rush about from one thing to the other to the other. Take time for you, every single individual, so that you are actually looking after yourself, both your body and your mind.
Yes.
So definitely do self-care, even if it's only for 10 minutes, but do something so that you're nourishing you. And then there's just a space to take some notes about how you're feeling emotionally or what you want to do that week. So that's to gently introduce people. And this one has been used with young carers. And seemingly they were embracing it and really enjoying it, using it, because it was making them think about what they're doing rather than just going through life with the blinkers on.
Absolutely. I like the idea, of what you just mentioned about the young carers there just now, simply because the carers, they care for people, and during the process of kind of providing service for other people, they have to kind of, empathy comes into it. A lot of emotion comes into it. So not only carers, any individual can use this feel good journal in whatever stage they are in their personal life, in their career, in their relationship, and in their relationship with their friends. Like what you said, identifying the trigger points. What are the triggers that make me think about these things? What are the things that that somebody says to me that make me feel in some certain ways? Being able to identify those things and then writing it down, and then be able to say, okay, if this was to happen again, I will process this differently. If I was to be in this environment with somebody else, with this person, and I not understand this is the pattern, you then be able to understand it because you've identified the feel good factors about it, which I believe is very, really good. So thank you very much for explaining the feel good journal to us. And I think we should also have another one here. Let's have a look at this one. So tell us about the International Living Plan one.
The Intentional Living Plan, it's actually it's saying, let's not be the spectator in your life, let's be the player. Let's be the driver, not the passenger. So it's actually saying live with intention. So every morning you would be, every day, whenever you're doing it, you would look through the different, you're guided through it. And it's saying, today I intend this, or this year I intend, and then it's strategizing that, actually taking notes on how you're actually going to achieve that, how you're feeling about it. So actually, again, it gets you to explore what you're appreciating, what you're wanting to do that week, what you want to do more of, what you want to do less of. And one of the things I did less of was be around people that were negative, that just went into negative stories all of the time. Or I would actually do what we call practice the pause. If a situation was happening, we actually would pause and not engage with it, and say something positive to redirect the person. So there's a strategy, a tool there that you can use.
That's good. And all of that is in this intentional.
And it's like getting you to actually become more active in thinking about your behaviours, your perspective in life, your feelings. So it's your thoughts. It's like just getting you to explore yourself, becoming to know yourself, so that you make choices that benefit you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Margaret. So just to kind of also let you know again, my name is Peter Igbinosa from Move Forward Movement. We are collaborating with EK Collective. EK Collective is a place where you can rent a space for doing the work. You can rent a conference room, rent an office space, and we're so very happy to be in that collaboration with them and having the opportunity to be here with Margaret talking about SwapforJoy. So this is more like the final question. This is the tricky one. We ask everybody this question, Margaret. What one mistake you've made in business, and what would you do differently if you were to go back?
Well, as I said earlier, we don't see mistakes, we see opportunities. So there's been lots of things that happen that we would pivot and bounce, but that's part of being a business owner, isn't it? You have to roll with it. So I wouldn't say we've made any huge mistakes, but because we see them as opportunities. But we did go from courses then to journals, and now we've got the digital downloads. So I think you're adapting as you go along, and it feels good because you're getting good feedback that it's working. So.
Absolutely. I love that. The reason why is simply because it also goes back to that mindset thing. When I ask most people these questions, some people say they talk about a story of something that have gone wrong about their business, what they could have changed, the lesson that they learned. But the answer that you gave is so powerful. Is about,
Thank
you know,
you.
you're welcome. Is about, you know, interpreting whatever situation that you are going through, interpreting it as an opportunity, interpreting it as this is just a learning experience for me. You know, and that takes me back to, you know, before we came on the podcast, I told you about something about the Amazon website.
Yeah.
And what you said to me, wow, that was a very good feedback. I would take that on board. It's all about the mindset thing, you know, and I really respect that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for being here today. What we're going to do now is basically, if somebody wants to find Swap4Joy, what platform can they find you? You can tell the audience where they can find your items, your materials. Is the opportunity to tell the audience about that, Margaret.
Okay. So it's the swapforjoy.com website. You'll get all of the information there, and on Facebook and on Instagram we do updates and let you know what we're doing. So that's how you can get in touch. But what we would end in saying is just become consciously aware of your thoughts and your choices, and go and live your best life. Change your mind, and you will change your life for the better.
Thank you. Change your mind and you change your life for the better. Your thought creates your reality.
Yeah.
That is it for us today on EK Collective and Move Forward Movement podcast. Margaret, I want to say thank you very much for coming to our podcast today. Swap4Joy, they are doing such an amazing work in the community. They have a lot of materials here. Just like you said, you can find her on a lot of social media platforms. And Margaret, once again, I want to say thank you very much for coming to our podcast.
Thank you, Peter.
It was nice having you here.
Yes,
Thank
definitely.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.